Hi, everyone. I am so excited to welcome you to a special bonus episode of the True Story London podcast. I'm Michelle Toth. Usually on this podcast, we listen to a true personal story told live at one of our shows in London and then follow it with a conversation with the storyteller. But today, we're doing something different. We want to mark the end of a year of firsts and experiments for True Story by sharing something really special with you. In 2023, we debuted some unique live shows in which songwriters wrote and performed original songs inspired by another person's true story. It was a magical experience, and so we would love for you, our podcast listeners, to have a taste of it as we close out the year. So today we'll be hearing 8 songs inspired by 2 stories. This is True Story Soundtrack. Our first set of songs is inspired by Bonnie Audie's story of her mother, Jean Hart, newly diagnosed with dementia, asking for Bonnie's help going to Dignitas. If you've not heard the story before, I highly recommend you go back to Season 1, Episode 10 for the full thing. But here's a small snippet of Bonnie's story.
Jean Hart was a singer, actor, researcher, teacher, artist, political activist, historian. She knew about fashion, architecture, politics, and how to fix a sash window. She built the NHS, fought apartheid, and defended miners, printers, teachers, and women's bodies. She knew the world and its stories. She knew the name of everything. She was a counsellor, a socialist, a dictator, a weed-smoking, wine-drinking, furiously cheekboned, bright blue-eyed, incredibly healthy, beautiful, fiercely protective, yet strangely neglectful mother. With a keen sense of style, a deeply sharp, sometimes cutting, sometimes clownish sense of humour. Evacuated in the war, she was clever. Abandoned by her parents, she was taken under the wings of her teachers. She went to grammar school and ended up at Oxford University. She was a brilliant and dutiful grandparent to my girls. As kids, they were enjoying weekly sleepovers at Nana's house, eating bespoke dinners, and talking Greek mythology with Nana deep into the night. Jean Hart did not fuck about. She craved and created love all around her, while denying its very existence.
Our first song is by a Los Angeles-based Polynesian Croatian artist who blends her Pacific Islander and Eastern European influences into her music. Here is Tihani.
There are so many things about that story that got inside my skin the first time I heard it. For anyone who knows a fiercely loving yet strangely neglectful mother, you know that it really is exactly like trying to keep autumn leaves from falling, and that you will fail, but it will be beautiful. And those lines and that feeling and that word is really what I carried with me into this song. I know times are strange. I wish I could change. If I could rearrange all your aches and pains, clear up all the stains, wash it all away, let my love replace. Yeah, 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 I would do it all. Weren't you the one who brought me out here and
Taught me how to spread my wings and then you disappear. Funny how I'm filling in your gaps now. How you echo, help me let go my fear. You know what it's like to hold the world inside your heart. I know it can be too much, too much. I would do it all, catch you when you fall. I would do it all, waiting in the hall. If my walls could talk, you'd hear the way I call for you. I would do it all, I would do it all. Penny for your thoughts, these jokes are all I got. Ready, 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 ready. All night.
Thank you.
That was Tihani with I Would Do It All, featuring Io Vincent on piano. Our next artist grew up just outside London. She brings old school jazz and R&B influences to her soulful music. Here is Harry.
I first heard Bonnie's story in January, and it really moved me. So when I was asked to write a song about it, I was very excited and accepted the task, and then realized kind of how deep it was that I had to write a song about somebody's core experience like that. And then I was panicking and anxious about it. I left it alone, and then I woke up one morning, and before I'd opened my eyes, it kind of started to come together. So this is called In Another Life.
My oldest friend is leaving town today. She said she booked herself a ticket for the midnight train. Lord knows how much I wish that she could stay, but I know how bad she needs to leave this godforsaken place. You can't keep a bird locked in a cage. I won't be the one to stop you if you yearn to fly away. Oh no, no. So many things that I could say, but my love for you is something that I can never quite explain. I just can't find the words, but that's okay, 'cause this ain't our final goodbye. This ain't forever, no. It's just a moment in time. And I'll be missing you tomorrow, and I'll be missing you tonight. But I know that I will see you someday in another life. Hey, oh, though you're gone, your memory still remains. I just close my eyes whenever I need to see your face, and I still think about you every day. It ain't easy, but at least I know you're no longer in pain. You can't keep a bird locked in a cage. I won't be the one to stop you if you yearn to fly away. Oh no. So many things that I can say, but my love for you is something that I can never quite explain. I just can't find the words, but that's okay, 'cause this ain't our final goodbye. This ain't forever, no, it's just a moment in time. And I'll be missing you tomorrow, I'll be missing you tonight. But I know that I will see you someday, know that I will see you someday. This ain't our final goodbye. This ain't forever, no, it's just a moment in time. And I'll be missing you tomorrow, I'll be missing you tonight. But I know that I will see you someday in another life. In another life. In another life.
That was Harry with In Another Life, featuring Jassy on guitar. Our next songwriter is a Londoner originally from Bristol. He plays in Sea Noise, the band behind our intro and outro music, and he also does quieter tunes as Lost Moons. Here is John Chisholm.
The next song is based on parts of Bonnie's story. It starts in the room in Dignitas. It looks back on Jean Hart's life as a singer and an activist when she's out at the rallies, and it means more when your song is Defiance. Today I'm very lucky to have Al on guitar, and I'm very proud to introduce my daughter Lissy, who will be singing. Thank you.
And we're all around.
That was John Chisholm with Amazing, featuring Al on guitar and Lucy on vocals. Next up is a South Londoner who comes from a family of musicians with a deep love for reggae music. She performs regularly on West End and international stages. Here is Amara.
Through listening to Bonnie's story, I felt like, wow, I wonder what her mum would have been going through, let alone Bonnie, and how she would have experienced the change that her mother was going through. And I just came up with this message that I might forget a lot of things, but I'll never forget love.
I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. So never stop loving me. Never stop loving me. Living moment by moment as my memory fades away. Lost control of my life that once controlled me. I'm no longer the same. I may not remember you and all the things you say and do, but I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. So never stop loving me. Never stop loving me. Living day by day, I use words but can't communicate. Loving you is my way of chasing the beauty of today. I may not remember you and all the things you say and do, but I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. I said I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. So never stop loving me. Never stop loving me. So day by day, I get your loving in a different way. Sorry if it doesn't look the same. I'm no longer the same. No, I'm changing. Forgetting is my way of communicating. Oh yeah, yeah. But I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. Let me hear you click. I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. So never stop loving me. Oh me. Oh yeah. Said I never stop loving me. Oh, I said I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. I said I'll never forget love. I'll never forget love. So never stop loving me. Loving me. Loving me. Never stop loving me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessie.
That was Amara with I'll Never Forget Love, featuring Jossie on guitar. Our next song comes from Ellis Ballard, who you might know as the producer of this podcast. They're also a brilliant songwriter who had to miss the actual show, but recorded their song to share with us. Here is Ellis.
One of the areas I focused on in response to Bonnie's story was the sort of multi-generational aspect of it, I guess. What cycles we repeat in our families, what cycles we break, how we differentiate ourselves from our parents and our children, and what ways we're the same or inspired by them or copy them. Or I think that's a big area I focused on in this.
which voices taking me to the top, as I'm stood there like a small child, and you pick apart my whole world with a smile that hides the meaning. Is this a joke to you or not? Now you're panicking by the roadside, and I'm scrabbling for a punchline, trying to tease apart the feelings, what is yours and what is mine, as we sing high notes in a hotel with gazes all trained heavenward, or party to witness the death and rebirth of a family's tie. We don't do that in this family. We don't have the tender words to hand. Will this all end in ignominy? Is this the end, or are we just beginning? You're on the way out. What's on the way in? You're on the way out. What's on the way in? You're on the way out. What's on the way in? What's on the way in? What's on the way in?
That was Ellis Ballard with On the Way Out. Our second and last set of songs is inspired by Lily Sulemanovic and her story of being a teenager in Bosnia when the Yugoslavian war breaks out. This forces her and her family to flee to the UK. You can hear the remarkable full story in Season 1, Episode 4 of this podcast, but here's a small snippet of Lily's story.
We had no idea what fate would await in Croatia, but I can tell you with absolute certainty that neat rows of military tents housing more than 3,000 refugees from Bosnia and Herzegovina did not feature in any permutation of possible options. And yet there we were. Don't worry, my mother said the night we arrived. We'll just stay overnight and I'll figure something else out. But the truth is that just like the 3,000 other people in that camp, we had nowhere else to go. Now, there is very little redeeming to be said about life in a refugee camp. More than 3,000 people crammed in unsanitary conditions, sleeping 15 to 20 in a tent with no privacy, being fed unrecognizable food, both in taste and origin, no access to doctors or any other infrastructure. But as the war in Bosnia raged on, it became increasingly obvious there was nowhere for us to be returning anytime soon. And as the winter approached, or as the end of summer approached, bringing with it more frequent storms, we became increasingly worried about our future in the camp. So this fateful night, the wind was howling outside and our tent was completely flooded. So me and my brother and my cousins were sitting on these makeshift beds that we were sleeping on, our feet up and our bellies rumbling because my mum had been away to get our dinner and she wasn't coming back for a long time. And then she walked in and she was looking very pale and her face was covered in rain. And she sat down and said, "Lily, would you like to go to England?" And now that was a thunderbolt that I did not expect this evening.
Our next artist is in London by way of Australia. She grew up in a family of jazz musicians and followed that with her own forays into soul, pop, folk, country, and classical music. Here is Lauren Lucille.
As a songwriter of many genres, I wasn't sure what would come out after listening to and shedding a few tears to Lily's story. But I got to listen to it many, many times and ask many questions about all the details. So in the end, I'm just telling it how it is. prepared me for the life I was to lead. Even though I made it through, I think of those who didn't. And when life flashed before my eyes, I really didn't think I could be as strong as I was. I could really live. Torn from everything I know, lost my friends and family, forced to run away from my home. Mother held us close as she promised we would be free. Caught in floods of misery, days and nights of grumbling bellies. Strangers came to set us free, or so it seemed until we couldn't leave. It was impossible to believe, not so long ago. I was wearing my new jeans, listening to MTV. Bread was all we had to eat. It was only meant to be 2 weeks, Daddy said as we fled. Gone was our home and our country, crammed in tents while others were free. We didn't know what was our fate until we stowed away in silence. Strangers took us to a land where we'd be free. Nothing could prepare me for how lucky I could be. Lucky to be here and to be me. Thank you very much.
That was Lauren Lucille with Only 2 Weeks. Our next songwriter balances his passions for skateboarding and running a technology business that supports vulnerable individuals with crafting music. Here is Wandering Lex.
Thank you very much for Lily for sharing the story. So she's had a very, very lucky experience, as we all have heard. And I wrote the story from the perspective of everyone that has met Lily along the way.
Here's Lex, 9 years old, blue eyes, blonde hair, late for school, as always.
I don't wanna go. Yeah, pack your bag, son. You're gonna be late. You're gonna be late. You're gonna be late. Brush your hair to the side. You wanna look good. You wanna look good. You wanna look good. Mum hugs me and waves me off with a kiss. With a kiss. And says, I can't believe I raised a son as cool as this. Just another day in this boring place I hate. All the teachers have less taste than the custard I just ate. The only time I try at school at all is to try and stay awake. But today was different. The fat kid in my maths class sat next to me and did bad farts. So bad I needed a gas mask. Was missing. Listen, kids, the teacher spewed above the laughter. You've got a new kid in class. It's Lily from Yugoslavia. Just there she was in Levi jeans, the type I saw on MTV. Hey, this desk is free, my heart skipped a beat as she sat down next to me. I hated doing homework, but I love learning prose, so I can make you laugh by passing notes. And I hated doing PE, the pollen gives me a runny nose, but I love to pick you daffodils from the hills from where they grow. One day we made a den in the corner of the sports hall. You pulled me in and opened up more than before, about how it's a miracle you've escaped from a country that's war-torn. I hug you close and gently interrupt all your thoughts. Lucky, you say you're the luckiest in the room. Yeah, not to be rude, but trust me, I'm luckier I met you. Lucky, you say you're the luckiest in the room. Yeah, not to be rude, but trust me, I'm luckier I met you.
Darren's been in prison for 13 years. Imprisoned for felony, arson, various counts of criminal activity.
It's when it gets a bit ruder. Raise your motherfucking hands up. Dear Lily, as usual, nothing much is happening. Bed number 17 tipped over the walls, but the warden shot and captured him. Probably shouldn't say this stuff, but the lack of females is a pain in the... But I shouldn't ever let that distract from writing you this letter. Swear I miss our little chit-chats. Still chilling with that cool kid Lex and copying all his tests, but there's a reason that I'm scribbling. My minor pen fidgeting the silence from our last visitation is still lingering. I know you never asked, but the reason we're still bickering must be open questions with answers that need finishing. Was it out of love and best intentions that I picked you up from the tents you stayed in? Or was it out of selfishness cause I knew the judge would give me half the sentence that I was due to have? I know that change is endless when you move from house to house, so take the pages off this letter to soothe your doubts. With words I'm not that clever, so I pray you figure out from the metaphor enclosed how blatantly I'm proud. Once upon a time is a moth in a candle. The moth circulates dangerously, allured by a fire that he could only dream to handle. But out of the morning outside comes a spotlight above the mantle, 100 times brighter than the candle, glittering the sky, but far out of reach so the moth could see clear whilst protected from the heat. If my life of crime was the candle, then tell me, who is the light above the mantle? You say you're the luckiest in the room. Put your motherfucking hands up. Trust me, woo! Not to be rude, but I'm luckier I met you. You say you're the luckiest in the room. Luckiest in the room, trust me. Not to be rude, but I'm luckier I met you.
Meet Lex, 27, wearing some stupid outfit probably, aspiring rapper, sat in front of you right now, performing a conscious train of thought that no one normally sees.
Sometimes I'm creating, lacking inspiration, often negating the things that keep me making. Swear to God I'm wandering around wanting to be famous, head stuck in the clouds, or was it in the ground? Can I say this or can I not? Can I understand that things can change and there not be a cost? So I said that every rhyme and story and every time I share it makes someone's light even purer, even clearer. Instead of wasting days stuck imagining no fear, keep my gaze straight on sight. I'm the lion that I fear, put the goodness to the practice. Practice for the feeling. Feeling in good practice is the way I'm disappearing. It's a new day to live, a new day to shine, new ways to heal myself and my mind. So I stand up tall. This isn't for my only, it's for Lillian, sharing everything that she's seen. Cause it's only through collaboration, loving and imagination, only through cultivating trust do we get free. Cause my time up on this stage is fading. Music drifts, the people leave now. Yeah, I'm scared that life is changing, but there's only one melody I can sing out. Lucky. Lucky. I say I'm the luckiest in the room. Trust me. It might be true. Thank you.
That was Wandering Lex with Lucky. Our final song is by a Los Angeles-based New Yorker who's a producer, rap artist, videographer, and editor. Here is Segnon.
I was very fortunate to not only actually hear Lily's story, but to actually get to talk to her. And in talking to Lily, what I got was a surprising amount of optimism and resilience through grief and trauma that I couldn't quite relate to initially. So I had a little bit of difficulty writing the song, but I tried my best and I persevered and I got through a lot of it. And then as I was kind of midway through wrapping the song up, 11 days ago, one of my dear friends took his own life. And so I found myself finishing the song while trying to get into Lily's head, putting optimism and a resilience through grief and trauma. And so this song kind of weaves your story and my story.
Losing faith, twist of fate, holding on. Suddenly, like a dream from beyond.
I can feel my heart pounding as the pressure starts mounting. If I don't swim, then I'm drowning. Lost a place I call home. Overnight became grown. Mama told me stay strong. Don't look back or hold on. Hard to stay grounded without your surroundings when life puts you down like some quicksand. Best thing about it, then all I encountered is now I know what I can withstand. Man, just surviving this life is enough. Gotta thank God for providing some luck. Walked through the fire, went down and got up. Walked through the fire, went down and got up.
Losing faith, twist of fate, holding on. Suddenly, like a dream from beyond. Losing faith, twist of fate, finding light. Suddenly came to me, saved my life.
I transmuted my trauma, turned my pain into armor. Took the road that's less traveled, that just took me much farther. Now every day is a blessing, cause nothing's promised tomorrow. And nothing's promised tomorrow. Nothing's promised tomorrow. Truth is, some days I know how to feel. Still got the pain from survivor's guilt. Hoping someday that the scars will heal. But I got angels around me still. Lord only knows I've been stressed. Man, I've been put to the test. All I can say is I'm blessed. All I can say is I'm blessed.
Losing faith, twist of faith, holding on. Suddenly, like a dream from beyond. Losing faith, twist of fate, finding light.
That was Segnon with Twist of Fate, featuring Tihani. Thank you so much for listening, and thanks to everyone who contributed stories and songs to this special episode. If you'd like to know more about our songwriters, you can find their information in the show notes. 2023 was a remarkable year for True Story, and we have so much more in store for 2024. More stories, more songs, more amazing conversations. So please follow us and don't forget to subscribe, and ideally, please rate and review us on your favorite podcast app. It makes the biggest difference for us to be able to reach more people. The True Story London podcast is hosted by me, Michelle Toth. Our producer is Ellis Ballard. Our theme music is by Sea Noise. Live recordings were recorded at 21 Soho, Amazing Grace, and the Temple of Art and Music. You can find out everything about us at truestorylondon.com. So thank you so much for being part of True Story, and happy, happy New Year.